enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're all well and I hope you're having a great day. Today we're back on the Racing Green. I always say we're back on the Racing Green lately. There are no Cooper S videos, and that's just because Mark's been doing the really boring, mundane stuff. It really makes boring stuff to video and to edit. So Mark's kind of been bashing on with it, and I'm sure we'll get an update very, very soon. But today's job on the Cooper S, I'm really excited. So we're getting it prepped to put the new front end on. Today's kind of the start. It presents a bit of a problem though, because from the doors forward, there is so much being replaced. Externally, all the panels are going to be replaced. So it gives a bit of problem with making sure everything's aligned, lines up in the right place, is straight and looks right. But I've got a bit of a plan and I'll talk you through it in today's video. Fingers crossed it all works. But yeah, I'm quite excited to be at this stage. Putting panels back on really feels like we're getting somewhere with it. So without further ado, let's get into this week's video. I hope you enjoy it. So the first thing we're going to do is get the scuttle removed and make sure we got some points to line it all back up again. But before we do that, I just need to finish up cleaning up this inner wing. As you can see, it's bare metal at the moment. There is some surface rust on there, and we're going to use the Furtan rust treatment protector to protect that. I need to clean off some of this flaky stuff first though, and then we'll go a bit of weld through primer on the top. We'll get that all rust protected, and while I'm there, I will probably make this hole round so that's ready to go. I've got a couple of tabs to weld on the inside of here, and I need to put some captive nuts on here, but I might wait for that until I've got the welder out for some bigger jobs. But for now, I'm going to go into time lapse because this is really boring stuff. We'll try and do it nice and quickly. Let's give this a clean off. Let's get some rust protector on there, and then we can get on to getting the scuttle panel off and getting the front end aligned to go back on the car. Well, I completely failed there because I forgot to turn the camera on. So you didn't have to sit through any boring time lapse. I just cleaned it all up with a wire wheel. I've put some of that Furtan on there. Let me just grab that for you. So this is a new rust treatment stuff I'm trying as an alternative to cure rust. What I did notice with cure rust was that it obviously neutralises the rust that's already there, and it provides a bit of protection, but where the car had been left a few months, it had started to rust back through the cure rust. So we're going to try Furtan, see if it's any better. So cleaned off all the loose rust. It's got a coating of Furtan on there now, which I just applied with a kind of 1-inch brush. We've cleaned up this hole now and made it round. I've got me a couple of holes in the right place. I need to fill up the other holes, and obviously I need to weld the tabs on, but I'll do that at another stage. The next step is removing the scuttle panel. Now before I remove it, very important, as I've learnt by my mistakes in the past, you've got to get the windscreen gap perfect. So I've just gone round and I've measured this, and it is 41.3 at the centre point. So when I watch back this video, I can remind myself so I won't forget. 41.3. It's 41.3 with that outer hole for the wiper arms. And this side, for some reason, it's slightly smaller. It's about 41.2. But if I make it all 41.3, I should, in theory, be okay. Now, like I say, once I remove that scuttle panel, I have got nothing to line the front end back up with. However, if you remember a long time ago, when I took the bonnet off, I did put some drill holes through the hinges and into the bonnet itself, so I can put the bonnet on. I can put 3mm drill bits through those holes, and I can get the bonnet in exactly the same place it was when I took it off. And then what I plan to do is align the scuttle and everything else up with the bonnet, which might seem a bit strange, but that is the way I'd done it on Project Sprout, I think, and it all seemed to go quite nicely. So this time it'll probably all go wrong. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously those hinges do wobble about a bit and they do move, so they're not perfect, but it should give me a good idea. If I get my windscreen gap right, I'll get the gaps right on the back of the bonnet, and then from memory in the past, I also trial fit the wings. So let me get that bonnet back on. We'll have a look, see what it looks like, and then we'll probably then take the scuttle panel off. And this time, I'll remember to turn the camera on. What a numpty. Right, so there we go. To be honest, it wasn't perfect, that. And it's not a perfect panel gap. So I've obviously lined it up using the drill bits through the hinges to get it roughly in the right place. But the gap is not brilliant. But it does give me some sort of datum point. It may not be perfect, but it's better than nothing. Well, look down the wings though. It's not too bad. I did just think, before the front end goes back on, the subframe's probably got to go back in as well. I don't think it necessarily has to, but obviously you want to make sure it all fits. So I'll probably have to strip the subframe down, get that ready. For now, we're going to drill out these spot welds. Obviously a bit grotty in some places, so it'll come off quite easily. Drill out these spot welds and yeah, get that scuttle off. Right, so there we go. That's the Scuttle off now. I'm not going to talk about what I'm going to do with the chassis number on there. It caused right controversy last time. I think I'll just keep that bit of metal. Cut it out and put it on a key tag or something. So it come off relatively easy. Good news is it's in pretty good nick. So it was a bit of corrosion around about here and around about here, but the bulkhead panel behind it is pretty good. There is one bit of welding I need to do, and that's this bit here on the top dash rail. I don't think it justifies replacing the whole dash rail, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to make this part here and weld that in. It's completely out of sight as well because the upper dash rail covers that. If it was in the corners, you can see the corners. But no, I'm quite happy with that. I don't know whether the bonnet trick will work. We'll obviously find out later on. If you're watching this 6 months down the line, fast forward and see what happens. But I think the bonnet is about where it should be, according to where it was previously. So in theory now, I'll put the scuttle panel on, get that in place, and then line everything else up off the bonnet. It's quite handy now. The bonnet opens a bit like an old Mercedes. Straight up vertical because there's no scuttle panel in the place. What I'm going to do, next job, I need to clean out this engine bay now. This all needs cleaning up. Ready for paint. I'm not going to paint it now. I'll have to wait until I get all the wings and that sort of thing on. But while I haven't got a front panel on, I might as well get this lot cleaned up and not quite ready for paint, but as ready as it can be. Get all the loose rust off, treat it, maybe get some primer on there. So I need to get the wiring loom out. I need to get the pedal box out. That's a pain because it's still got the original captive bolts on it. So let's do that. Oh, I might replace this wiring loom. I don't know yet. It's not in fantastic nick. I'll have a look how much a new loom is. See how bad that one is once I get it out. So next bit of time lapse, I think we're just going to clean up under the bonnet here. So there we go. I don't know at what point the video footage got to because the battery went dead and I didn't hear the GoPro beeping. But I'm really pleased with what I've done on the car, and it really feels like I'm making some progress now. I don't know what it is. I just feel a lot more positive about the car, feel a lot more motivated to get out here. Maybe it's because we're getting to the point where things are going back together now. Yeah, there's not a lot of rot left in the car, hopefully. So I feel really positive about it. And if you're watching this video, I will have just got back from a week's P&O cruise. So I should be relaxed and hopefully I've really enjoyed it. But it does focus the mind a bit. So before I went, so now I was thinking to myself, I really need to get some more footage ready. So I've still got a video to go up each week. So I have been busy over the last few days and it's actually really nice. I have been mad busy with work and literally had no time in the garage at all during the weeks. And this week or today, I actually finished everything at a reasonable time and I thought, let's do it. Let's get out in the garage. It is so good for my mental health. It just makes me feel so much better. Get my head out of the computer, get into the garage, get some work done, make some progress, and you feel really positive about yourself. So if you're doing a restoration, you do get points where you just cannot be bothered. It is really hard to get up and do things. And sometimes you just make every excuse in your own head under the sun not to do it. There's always something else you need to be doing. But the rewards of getting out there, getting your hands dirty, getting something done, it just makes you feel better. It's like a bit of a drug, to be honest. I really enjoy it. So I'm really pleased. Let me turn you around and see what we've done, in case it didn't come out on the time lapse. So we've got the inner wing all cleaned off there now. We've got that fur tan on there. As you can see, it turns dark black anywhere there's metal. It puts a protective layer on there now, and that should all be good. We obviously made our whole back round again. I need to clean off the top of here to put some weld-through primer on there. We've got the loom out, we've got all the cables out, we've got all the bungs out from the bulkhead, we've got the VIN plate off, we got all the bits of plastic. So that's all ready now to be wire wheeled back, clean off all the rust, treat it and prime it. I do need to get the pedal box out yet, which is going to be a pain. I'm not looking forward to that, but it's got to be done. And not sure about it. I might leave that in place. It's masticed in. They're not, well, they're not difficult to get out, but it's not corroded. I might just mask that off, paint that black and then paint around it. So yeah, bulkhead all good, inner wings all good now, just wants cleaning up. And obviously we've got our scuttle panel off. Pretty pleased with that. Got our wiring loom on the floor here. I've had a quick look at it. It's not too bad, but there are corroded connectors. I actually managed to get all these connectors for the interior loom off without breaking anything, which is quite unusual. So the interior loom will go again, but I'll have a look at the price for a new loom. It's 35 years old, 34 years old. So it'd be worth replacing if it's not silly expensive. And like I say, I need to order a scuttle and closing panels from Mini Sport. Aside from that, just need to have a bit of a clean up. We've got all our accessories off the bulkhead here, like bungs, rubbers and things like that. All of these rubbers are available from Mini Spares if you lose them, but I will reuse the old ones if I can, just because new rubber, old rubber, the old rubber is always better. We've got the dim dip resistor there. I've already got a new fuse box. So yeah, I'm really pleased with today's progress. So yeah, like I say, it's just good for your mental health to get out there, get stuck in. And yeah, I think in no time at all we'll be putting the wings and front end on, which is really exciting. So thanks for watching this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and thanks for everyone that leaves a comment. I really do appreciate it. If there's anything you want to know, drop it in the comments, because I read them all and I will get back to you. So have a great day, guys. Thanks for tuning back in and watching. Catch you again on the next one.